everybody, welcome back to H4G. I'm Tony.
I'm Dan.
I'm Richie.
And you know what? We're really late to review Sonic Mania.
But really, it's actually really appropriate because today is Labor Day, and Sonic the Hedgehog is really a symbol of labor rights, if you think about it.
Exactly.
I mean, it's a logical conclusion.
Yeah, and plus this game is just so damn good that I don't care that it's late.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're doing it. Like,
We wanted to play it.
it's gonna
Here's
be
us playing it.
a good time. And you know, we also have the collector's edition handy, the big old box. So
my.
we're gonna review the game, play it at the same time. As an intermission, we're gonna go over that special edition, collector's edition, and then jump back into the review.
Whoa.
More gameplay for you lucky folks.
And
This is like a collector's edition review with all the content you're getting.
good God!
Oh my! Oh, we're gonna have to cut that so we get all of our ad money.
That's true. That said, we're also going to be doing a little contest here because, frankly, up until this game, I had never beaten a blue sphere level.
I don't think I have yet.
Everyone yell at me in the comment section.
Be sure to do that.
I think they have nothing to do with Sonic gameplay, and therefore I'm not good at them. I did beat a few in Sonic Mania because I practiced, but because I already own the game, and then I bought the collector's edition, I have an extra download code. These guys don't have the game. So, we're doing a little competition. Whoever can beat the largest number, highest number of blue sphere levels gets the download code.
You know, maybe we should just give it to Dan right now. This competition's kind of taking me out of my comfort zone. Or we could just drink more.
Well,
that works
yeah.
too. Hey!
Something we can
I'm a
agree on.
genius.
Oh my god, that's outstanding. The intro animation.
It was a little more fabulous than I was expecting, but you know what?
The little
I dig
twirl.
it.
He did a little twirl.
It's a little something extra.
I love RuPaul's Drag Race, so that really did it for me.
Yeah.
Frankly.
Oh, sold.
Now-
Sold, sweetheart.
Now, here's a little piece of chocolate here for everybody.
Is this from the 90s animated show?
No, it's
It's
completely
not
new.
precipitating chili dog, so this can't be from the original.
No. So this is kind of akin to the 90s Sonic the Hedgehog Japanese box art. As if you were to make that and sort of turn it into an animated cartoon. The background almost looks slightly wide-angle fisheye lens, which reminds me a little bit of the canceled Sonic Extreme for the Sega Saturn. I don't know if you guys know much about the Sonic Extreme game, but it was kind of this weird 3D Sonic game that was like through a fisheye. So like the movement was very bizarre because it was through a fisheye, but it was strange, but you know, it was canceled.
Never played Sonic on mild hallucinogens? If we got the solution for you.
You have to imagine with some of the Sonic games that came out that if a Sonic game got canceled, it was really crap.
Yeah, well, the reason why Sonic Extreme got canceled is because Sega of America had all of these ideas, and Sega of Japan was like, those are good, but they're not our ideas. So,
That sounds about right.
Classic Japan.
do this instead. So they kept setting them back and setting them back and setting them back. That's why Sonic 3D Blast got re-released for the Saturn. Because they needed a Sonic game for Christmas, and Sonic Extreme kept getting pushed. So
Well, they clearly made the right choice there.
So we're in the main menu here. Let's take a look here. Obviously, we have the time attack. You can choose your character. You can go through all the different levels that you've beaten. Options. Now, these are interesting. No, but seriously, look. So we have clean, CRT sharp, CRT soft. If you really want to feel like
that
you're
is
back
some
in-
nostalgia right
yeah,
there.
exactly.
I really, really can't get past how much I love that there's a fuzzy CRT mode for this game.
Yeah.
Usually something like the clean is about as far as I'll go. The simulated scan lines always look a little wonky to me.
Yeah, so I like that these are here, but I don't like playing with them.
Right.
Now, I do like playing with them a bit when you take the Switch out and it's like a handheld, because that's kind of cool. Kind of reminds me of like a Game Gear, which is kind of, I guess, you'd only get that experience on the Switch. But otherwise, I don't play with them. One thing I don't understand is what the difference between none and clean is. Like, there's no...
It really isn't that.
Yeah, there's something visible
That is
in the little
disappointing.
screen capture.
So let's go ahead and start a new game. So we can experience this firsthand.
I remember that.
What a classic cutscene.
Now, originally, this game had a more detailed story about Dr. Robotnik being depressed after his defeat after Sonic and Knuckles, and it was much more elaborate, but they opted to just kind of just keep it simple and wordless.
Well,
Just,
they cut out the whole scene where he bought a Corvette and...
yeah, exactly.
All right, so classic Green Hill Zone. I mean, really, it's just paid straight out of the old book,
Oh, yeah.
but it's very nicely done.
Yes.
I was playing Sonic 2 the other day on my Genesis, and it's a dead ringer, and somehow that's actually a compliment in this case.
That kind of illustrates how far the series has fallen in some respects, but I'm still very, very happy to see this as it is. It feels like home.
You guys ready?
Let's do it. Yep. So the thumbsticks are not my forte.
Yeah, use the pseudo D-pad next
Did
time.
not realize that worked. Okay, so...
Well, I'm not starting from behind. That's encouraging.
Hey, I got 1 or 2. I got 2.
No. It's how many levels we complete.
Oh, well, nuts.
Well, no.
Oh, this isn't out of the book.
There
Oh,
you go.
God. This is where I bring shame to my ancestors.
No more shame than I did by forgetting the D-pad. It works.
Where... Oh, God!
It's a trap.
Because all things considered, you have all the advantages. I was a Nintendo kid growing up.
So far, we're enjoying the hell out of this game.
Absolutely.
Right? But let's talk a little bit about how this game actually came to be, because a lot of people are touting this as a fan game.
And I can definitely see where that label would come from, because it kind of does almost resemble like a ROM hack. Because you've got the original assets there, a lot of the original stages with more or less wrinkles thrown in them rather than complete redesign. But I'm not sure that the title totally fits.
No. Well, to understand this game, you have to understand Sega's business practices as of late, right? So if I were to make a Nintendo fan game, Nintendo would say, screw you! Like, how dare you? How dare you use our properties? How dare you love our properties and smear our copyrights?
How dare you make a nickel off of our intellectual properties?
Are you having fun beyond what we intended? Ooh, rabble, rabble, rabble.
But if you're Sega and you're contacted by some people that had made some fan games and you look at them, well, you just might partner with those individuals. And that's what Sega had done. These individuals that worked on this game had made a ton of Sonic fan games, basically. And they had contacted Sega multiple times to get some projects going, including the HD version of Sonic CD, which was a nice, smoothed upgrade from the original. So they've been working with Sega for a while, and I'm simplifying this because there's multiple different people that did multiple different things, but basically Sega scooped up a bunch of individuals and funded them. I think basically what Sega said to themselves was, hey, I'm not sure we know how to do this anymore. Because they kind of have one good Sonic game for every 5. Why don't we take people that not only know how to do this, but have dedicated a ton of their spare time to doing this and did it well. Yeah. Like, why the hell not invite these people in and maybe they could produce something for us? And that's exactly what they did. Okay, hang on, I might be able to get it.
There we go.
Hey.
So you may remember this special stage from Sonic CD.
For all of you who had the unfortunate privilege of playing Sonic CD.
No, Sonic CD was amazing. You mean the unfortunate privilege of owning a Sega CD.
Yeah,
there's the
point,
difference.
Fair point.
The Sonic CD special stages were basically go around, defeat all of the UFOs. And it was a very sort of Mode 7 Mario Kart style look and gameplay. And that's what you get here, except they've upgraded it from 16-bit to 32-bit. Look at the blocky Sonic, and I love it. I love it so much because
it's so perfect.
And I'm going to say this a couple times, but this game reminds me of the 32-bit Sonic game we never got. Because they could have pulled off 60 frames per second, beautiful looking sprites, better animations on the Sega Saturn. But they just didn't, because they wanted to go 3D. And the 3D segments look like what the Sega Saturn could have done. So it just really is just kind of making up for lost time.
Oh, geez, where are the blue spheres? No! I didn't even press anything.
There you
God
go.
damn
Okay,
it.
so we're all supremely bad at the blue spheres in this particular version.
This is Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine.
No way.
Yes.
I love that this is in here.
This is pretty great.
This is outstanding.
All right,
Now, this is
this I
new.
don't recognize. Is this a level that I just missed as not being a Sonic fanboy, or
I think this is a new
or
level.
this
This
is legit fresh, huh?
Yeah.
Does this level have a name?
Studiopolis.
Ah,
it's got a bit borrowed from
I
the
do
Casino
see-
Night Zone with the little bouncy bits.
I do see some color test screens on those TVs, so
Oh, yeah. You're going to see
that's-
more and more. Apparently, this was actually the name of the studio that does the Sonic English like translations and I think voice acting, if I'm not mistaken. And they
Why
named
would you pay them an homage?
Well,
I
they
think
didn't-
That's something you hide.
Jeez.
We're traveling through time and space!
Actually, they didn't mean to. They just named it that. Then they had to kind of they realized it. Then they were like, "Oh, we need to get permission." And then they were like, "Oh yeah, go for it. Like we don't care, you know, absolutely."
Good God, why would anybody want to put our name on anything? Go ahead, sure. We need the business.
Aw, you guys.
All right, everybody, time for our collector's edition intermission. So,
Da-da-da.
as you can see here, this thing is freaking huge. It cost me, I think, $70. Yeah, somewhere around $70. And when you think about it, most collector's editions are like 120, 150, or more. But also keep in mind that this game costs $20, and the physical release isn't in here. So basically, that price point kind of makes sense, but it's still damn huge for the price.
Right. I find traditional unboxings pretty fucking boring.
I agree.
So
I need to shake it. Just shake it violently.
what I want to have Dan put his hand in the box blind
Oh.
and see if he can't figure out what's in there.
Okay, so I'm going to need some help here because this has a box within a box. If you wouldn't mind holding on to that, I'm going to pull out the box that's in the box.
Oh my, that is some packing.
Give it old
redundancy right
hee-ho.
there. This is just shameful.
Hang
You
on.
guys do this like I play Sonic.
There we go.
There it
Okay,
is.
Some part of Sonic.
You know, there's a lot of cool things actually on this that was also on that. I mean, we have the huge Sonic on the front.
And I think this is a nice touch here, though. Welcome to the next level with just like everything aligned to itself, so the words are just sort of flowing over the lines in traditional 90s fashion.
Yeah, and this was the slogan in the 90s for the Genesis.
Right.
Welcome to the next level. Like, it's just so 90s. And of course, you know, on the back it says 2D Sonic is back, a brand new adventure, and it describes the the game. And it doesn't oversell it. Gorgeous pixel graphics. True enough, right? So you want to dig your hand up in there?
Ooh, as a matter of fact, I do. What on earth do we have in... Guys, I think there's an actual hedgehog in
Oh,
here.
Oh yeah, there's a live hedgehog
There's a live
included
hedgehog.
included in
Uh,
Sonic Mania.
Ooh, I'm not feeling a pulse in here, fellas.
Oh no.
Oh. So let's go into this thing for real here. Here's the download code. One of you guys will be getting this depending on your skill level. So far, not looking so good.
No, we're in a dead
We are
dead
terrible.
tie. A scoreless tie, the most exciting game in soccer.
That is beautiful.
This is like 12 inches. Let's see the volume. Volume does nothing, but...
No.
Now, here's what I like the most. Now, there's no physical release of Sonic Mania, at least not yet. It's all downloadable. So they kind of make up for that.
Oh, dude. That
that-
is beautiful.
Look at the happiness on his face. Like, he's just like, this is what it is. Like, it's just pure joy. Like, it's genuine happiness.
It's just a box full of happiness. That's what it is. Try not to open this and just think everything is wonderful.
Well, hang on a second. Look at this. So you see these little fake contacts here? Now, it's a little tricky to pull out, but you can pull them out.
Oh, your God.
Hey, Dan? Dan, I've been, got a second?
Yeah, what's up, Tony?
Well, why don't you stand up for a second here? I feel uncomfortable with you on your knees. Jeez. I don't know how to say this, really. I mean, I've known you for a long time. I feel like after playing a lot of Sonic Mania, we've gotten close. Definitely closer than I've gotten to Richie because he's not that very good at it. But sorry, I shouldn't.
I'm right here, guys. I'm holding the camera.
But don't ruin this for me. I was wondering. I'm sorry. I've never done this before except with my real wife. Will you be my Sonic?
Yes, Tony, 1,000 times yes.
We're gonna go fast. We're gonna go fast. I love you.
I love you so much.
You should probably seal it with a kiss.
I think he wants a kiss. I'll give him a kiss. Come here, Richie.
Oh God, no!
Isn't this cool though? Like, I feel this got some weight to it.
Boy, I was expecting plastic.
Now this, I don't fully understand what this is. I think it's just a card. It's just a metal Sonic. It's just like a little metal credit card sized Sonic Mania card for your wallet, I guess.
So that you can remember. Hold on, I've got it. Fun is infinite.
Oh, fun is infinite. That's cool.
You know they're not wrong here.
That's the collector's edition of Sonic Mania, and I've never bought a collector's edition before. Never.
I've never been the sort to run out and grab one.
No.
But this is just so cool and fun.
I've never cared. I have never given a damn about a collector's edition. I was always like, why would I spend extra money for these little tiny stupid little trinkets?
Hey, Halo gave you like a Master Chief helmet.
But the thing is, I've never been a Halo guy, so I've never cared about that.
Neither did I.
And for games I cared about, like Breath of the Wild, like I didn't bother with the collectors anything.
Right.
Like, but just something about this, because there wasn't a physical release, fills that sweet hole. It just fills that sweet hole that I had in my heart.
And once it fills it, you're never getting it out.
No, not with these spikes.
Ooh.
Not with these spikes.
Yeah, that's a one-time deal.
But yeah, so I think that's probably why I bought it, because it just didn't. There was no physical release, so this kind of satiates that need for me. This reminds me of sort of 80s future, where it's like everything is like hot blue and purple.
Right. Although in this one
come
there are no
on!
Australians and Mohawks who caused the end of the world.
Oh wow, I am really blowing this.
Richie, do a spin dash.
Come on, Richie, just come on.
You can make it, buddy. Oh!
Come on, dude. Just spin dash. Don't
that.
get that.
You
But I
don't-
want to. It looks so enticing. Look at that.
He's got
Don't.
candy.
Don't. What's wrong with you?
What did you think would happen?
I needed to know for science.
I
damn
told
it.
you.
We knew what happened.
It's an underratedly difficult thing to make a game like this work. That's so familiar, but so good.
Well, that's the thing, is that it really does an outstanding job of bridging the gap between, you know, bringing back a classic without shamelessly reliving it.
And I mean, it's not like this is the first time that Sega's tried to do something like this either.
It's just the first time it's worked.
Right.
There's an important difference as it works out.
I would argue that, you know, I mean, there's been a lot of really shitty Sonic games. I don't think there's any argument there, but there were a couple of gems. Like Sonic Generations attempted to both combine new Sonic and old Sonic, and literally had a character that was new Sonic, and literally had a character that was old Sonic.
It was very subtle.
Yeah. So, but that game actually, I truly
Sonic
very much
Generations was
enjoyed.
pretty good.
It was great. It was a good game.
enjoyable.
Yeah. But this is just the classic experience without having to be like, hey, did you know that there's two Sonics and one of them's new, and we're gonna give you both today, Sonny. Give us your money.
There's much less of a snap, snap, grin, grin, wink, wink, say no more feel, and more of a like, hey, do you enjoy Sonic?
Yeah.
Have we got the thing for you?
I mean, Sonic Generations is like the full-fledged Sonic Museum. This is like, this is the hands-on Sonic Museum.
Exactly.
That's a good way to put it. I mean, because Sonic Generations really did play like it was a museum.
Right. And I mean, you had all of the extra bonus stuff that you could collect, and you had the music room and yada yada yada. So it really did kind of play that way. Whereas this is like, we're just gonna take it for granted that you know who Sonic is and what his shtick is.
Yeah.
Let's just get to the gameplay.
At this point, we're assuming you understand that you gotta go fast.
We're gonna end this O to O.
What's the reward for these in this game?
Well, you get these little tokens which unlock like special moves and extras.
Oh. The other thing about these is I just don't see any.
I jumped too far.
I don't see any incentive to get good at them because they're not that fun either.
I think some people really like them. When I posted on Facebook that I had never beaten one, and I had beaten a few in this game, but up until that point I hadn't, people lost their shit. They were like, what are you talking about? Don't you understand that you need skill and good reaction time? I'm like, don't you understand that I don't have those things?
I mean, like, what do you want from me?
It's like, that's like saying, oh, I wish I was a millionaire. Well, don't you understand that you need $1 million? It's like, yeah,
I mean,
I got it.
I get the premise. Come on.
Do you ever think that, like, the predominant left to right motion of video games, does it ever strike you as leftist propaganda?
Oh,
Them again.
So right now we're doing the time attack mode,
Right.
and there's a cool little feature, so if you are just not liking the way that you're playing, you press a button and you just warp right to the beginning. But you have to hold it down for a second because it'll start to flash, and you could be like, oh wait, no, I'm pressing the wrong button, and stop. Or you can just go through with it, start from the beginning again.
With reset time,
Yeah.
it's a very thoughtful inclusion for the mode. And like in the later Sonic and Knuckles title, you can play as Sonic, you can play as Tails, you can play as Knuckles, and playing each level with the different characters results in a game that plays differently each way you play it through. This is great because it keeps it both a faithful homage to the originals, but yet a fresh, fun, new game that is really all its own.
Okay, just for the sake of it, we're going to go ahead and do a tailspin, as you said.
I did say that, and I kind of regret it now.
Yeah, you've created a monster.
I kind of wish they would have just had, like, Sonic be absolutely terrible at flying.
And just crash the plane. So, I mean, this is great for, like, the lazy speedrunner on the go. It's just like, hey, there's a thing I have to navigate. I'm just kidding.
So I do think that the difference between the three characters is basically, you know, if you have Sonic, you're going to play as, you know, your traditional Sonic platformer with a good combination of speed and platforming. And Knuckles is a little bit more geared towards the platforming itself. And Tails is kind of more like, you know, your little brother wants to play, and it's a little challenging, so Tails is kind of like a handicap, basically.
So one of the really great things about this game is how well it's presented. I mean, it's clearly hearkening back to the Genesis era. I mean, the graphics look like they're taken right out of the Genesis, but spruced up for a modern day system, and it looks great on a modern HD TV, which the original Sonic does not. If you've ever tried it, it looks awful, as many
The results are
many
so
original
far.
games do. So if you don't happen to have a CRT TV in your possession, this is probably the way you want to experience Sonic. And I mean, the tunes are as great as ever. They sound fantastic. Just really well done across the board.
This
Okay.
I loved from Sega CD. And one of the things that I loved about the Sega CD version is all the beautiful lights and the different like background scrolling that you got in Sonic CD. It was just so beautiful, so gorgeous for the time. It just, oh my God, it looked good. And this brings it back just tenfold. Like, it just looks so pretty.
It's pretty great.
It's the exact update that this deserved.
Yes.
It just tidied it up a little bit, but in no sense, like, broke the spirit of the original.
No.
Right. And I'm a sucker for purple, so it's got me on that. But I mean, just like you say, the details in the lights, it's just awesome.
You know, it's detailed, but at the same time, it has the same sort of like 1632-bit scrolling, you know, background scrolling, where it's faithful to it, but it just pops because it's HD. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like it's, I don't know how to describe it. Like it really, you know, some games like we talked about before, they're like, hey, did you know that this is like nostalgic? Whereas other games are just like, oh man, like that hits me. Like, and sometimes it's hard to point out like why it hits you versus feels pandered. You know, and I know for some people, maybe they feel pandered by this game.
One of the kids I went to college with, he's an organist, and I sang at his church one time, and he's a bit of a Sonic freak.
Oh, okay.
And I convinced him to work the Green Hill Zone theme into his improvisation just during the
Really?
service.
That's
That's
hilarious.
outstanding.
And I mean, this is a guy who, like, won't play Here Comes the Bride at weddings because it's secular music. So
Really?
so that's a win for video games right there.
Yep, Sonic wins.
Won't play Here Comes the Bride, but played Sonic. That's hilarious.
I mean, he's a man who knows priorities.
Yeah, I mean, he knows
That's
what's up.
fair.
He knows what God wants.
Yeah, exactly. God,
And he wants
God
people to be
needs-
happy.
God
Yeah.
needs Sonic.
He needs people to go fast.
God's got to go fast. So that is Sonic Mania. I mean, damn, I know I said it, but I really feel like it's the 32-bit Sonic game that we never got. But
There's no escaping that feel, too. Everything it does just drives that point home. That you are back in the 90s. You are playing Sonic the Hedgehog on a CRT television.
oh yeah. I mean, I think that we would probably give it somewhere around a 9.5 out of 10. Would you guys agree, or would you go higher, lower?
Yeah, and I think I'd probably go with a 9 myself, but I think it's really easy to underestimate how much effort it takes to make something like this work. What price point is this marketed
$20.
at? $20.
I mean, for
I-
$20,
I think it deserves a 9.5 based entirely on that price point. $20 doesn't readily buy more fun than this.
That's true. I would have bought it for $60, and I would have been content. But when you get that $20 price point, you're like, damn.
Sold.
Yeah. Now, granted, the collector's edition, I believe, was like 70 or 80. So, I bet you're wondering, who got the most blue sphere levels beaten? And the answer is nobody.
We suck.
We did
Nobody got a
terribly.
single one.
We can't be trusted with these things.
Would one of you like to give or forfeit the download
I
code?
forfeit the download code. Dan, I think you'll enjoy this more than I will.
Oh,
So
shit. Okay.
you enjoy your Sonic Mania.
That said, thank you very much, everyone, for subscribing, and we will see you all next time.
Cheers again.
Cheers.
Thank you again for watching. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a like and a share, and we will see you guys next time.